This is Matthew Cratter from Trader University, and today I want to talk about how to spot a cryptocurrency liar. I should say at the beginning that the two billionaires that I'm going to be discussing, I'm sure they're really nice guys in real life, and I'm sure that they would never willingly deceive anyone. I'm just having some trouble reconciling their public statements, that's all. So to be clear, please don't sue me. No one is being accused of being a liar. But there are some weird things, some weird inconsistencies in these public statements. Here's a famous article from 2019 where Mark Cuban says that he'd prefer to own bananas over Bitcoin. Now, fast forward to 2021 and the cryptocurrency bull market. All of the coverage of Mark Cuban then switches to Ethereum, talks about how he owns a lot of Ethereum. But if you dig down, he talks about how he's actually been bullish on Bitcoin the entire time. He knew about Bitcoin in 2012. People told him that it was a currency, and he said it's more like gold. It's a better alternative to gold, and that's why I own Bitcoin and why I never sold it. So there are these weird inconsistencies where he said he'd rather own bananas than Bitcoin, and yet all of a sudden he's been a Bitcoin holder since 2012. Just an inconsistency. I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it. But when he really launched his public persona in terms of cryptocurrencies, he was pushing Ethereum, he was pushing NFTs, which were very, very bad for the retail investor and really have no value in the same way that Bitcoin has value due to its scarcity. And as recently as last week, Mark Cuban was really continued to push DeFi, which is currently built on top of Ethereum, talking about how scared the banks should be of DeFi and how great it was. Then just a couple days ago, he invested in a stable coin called Titan from Iron Finance, and this stable coin happened to go to zero. There was a bank run. Here we can see the Iron token going from about 60 down to zero in a very short period of time. So I'm going to let you guess what is the reaction of someone like this who's in favor of freedom and liberty and the banks are in big trouble, etc. He calls for regulation as soon as he starts to lose some money in cryptocurrency. This is how you spot someone who's really in it for just promoting themselves. They don't believe in freedom. They don't believe in decentralization. And as soon as things go bad for them, they immediately try to bring in the regulators. There's actually a great list of DeFi exploits, which I'll link to here, called rect.news. And you can read about the Iron Finance, the most recent blow up. Obviously, something like this has never happened to Bitcoin. But then again, Bitcoin's not trying to have dog coins and strange things like this. If you're finding this video helpful so far, I'd encourage you to hit that subscribe, like button, and also share the video with a few friends. Also join my email list. You may have noticed yesterday that YouTube deleted my channel for a couple hours. Fortunately, they brought it back up. I believe it was an honest mistake. But in case this ever happened and was permanent, and you can see the sort of stuff I'm beginning to post, someone might get a little upset about criticizing people like Mark Cuban. So this is another way we can stay in touch. If you put your email on my email list as well, you'll be entered for the free drawing for 10 free monthly subscriptions to Trader University Premium. And I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I'll be drawing the 10 names from this email list. So back to the billionaire liars. Here's Charles Hoskinson, who's the founder of Cardano, in a recent interview. And I just want to play this clip for you.
I can't for the life of me understand what the hell is the point of Bitcoin. When I joined the Bitcoin space way back in the day, it was, hey, we hate the dollar and, hey, we like gold a lot. Let's create digital gold. Let's build a payment system. And then it just kind of went all these different directions and nobody can actually tell you what Bitcoin is for. It's a store of value. Okay. There's some proof of work thing where maybe you're like incentivizing alternative energy to be produced. I don't know. It's like nobody really knows the philosophy. There's no direction. And they say, but don't worry, just buy and hold.
Now, I should say from the outstart that no one thinks that Charles Hoskinson is a dummy. He's obviously a very smart mathematician, and he's also a scammer, in my personal opinion. That's no one's opinion except for mine. One way you can tell it, he does the classic body language here, where when he's about to tell a lie, he rubs his nose, a sign of deceit that someone is uncomfortable with what they're saying. He's also internally inconsistent. He knows very well what proof of work is, and how it works. He's been very critical of it for its energy usage. He also understands that digital gold is another way of saying store of value. So in this same clip, he talks about how Bitcoin doesn't really know what it's doing. It was originally a store of gold. Now it's continued a store. It was originally considered digital gold. Now it's considered a store of value. And he's basically, I think he's a very deceitful person. That's just my opinion from this video. It's definitely not necessarily a fact, but that's my personal opinion. I think the body language is very bad. And I think the internal contradictions are also really bad. He also criticizing Bitcoin, pretending that he doesn't know what it's for. The real question is, what is Cardano for? And of course, this is his rival cryptocurrency that he printed out of nowhere and has been dumping on retail investors to fund his foundation and to fund his company. Cardano does seem to just be a giant pre-mined coin run by the scammer, and it's in search of a mission. Bitcoin actually knows what it is. Cardano doesn't know what it is. In fact, Cardano is currently taking on projects that would be much better handled by a centralized database. Blockchain is not actually the best way of doing most things. In most cases, you really do want to use a centralized database. A centralized database is much faster, and you can, of course, make backup copies. You want decentralization because you don't want people like Charles Hoskinson in charge. You also you want decentralization for money. You don't need decentralization for tracking student performance in Africa. People got very excited about this blockchain deal. It doesn't look like anything to me. If this is why Charles Hoskinson left Bitcoin to work on something like this, that could clearly be handled much better by a centralized database. These are all indications that something doesn't smell right. Of course, as I said, Hoskinson created his own currency. He launched it and he distributed it to IOHK, to the Cardano Foundation, and he of course owns part of IOHK, and he got his own Cardano as well. So this is another classic pre-mine that's meant to be dumped on naive retail investors who don't understand what's going on. There's another Reddit article on this, Reddit post that I will link to. You can also find an excerpt from the Cardano monetary policy, the original version of it, 1.1, where they talk about how much was given to IOHK and the Cardano Foundation, which of course Charles Hoskinson controls. The real reason he doesn't like Bitcoin is because he cannot control it. It's much more fun to print up your own money and dump it on people who don't understand what's happening. What's classic about this, though, is if you Google Cardano monetary policy, you get that document, the original one. And guess what? When you click on it, I guess they've revised their monetary policy over time, and they've never bothered to update it. So even Google is pushing this as the first search result. So if you listen to people like Mark Cuban, who have all these inconsistencies, or if you own Cardano, ADA, you have to understand what's going on here and who's in charge. And it's a very bad sign if your brave leader is someone who's criticizing Bitcoin in a very transparent way here, with the deceitful body language, as well as pretending that he doesn't know what it does, and in the process, contradicting himself. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.